Greetings and welcome to the Soldier General's quarters. I have been gone for about over a month now. You guys have not seen me since actually the Battle of Vader versus Ackbar. That is due to a flu that I caught. It wasn't COVID, don't worry, we checked, I'm fine, blah blah blah. But it was a bad head cold and I was knocked out for a while. I did go to the Ozark miniseries tournament, and I will be going to that. So again, and so anyways, I just want to let you guys know I'm still alive, still going, still kicking. Just had to take a little month breather, I guess. So anyways, so we're gonna go over where this list came from, and we're gonna go from before Vegas, actually, which is where it came from. And then we're going to go all the way up to through the miniseries of the tournament, because I use this list for all those different battles. So first, let me start with way back when before Vegas, the week before Vegas. I'm sorry, and. So Ben was too busy at the moment. He couldn't do anything. Probably getting ready for Vegas and such. But Buster wanted to fight a battle because he wanted to practice with his fleet. And I said, sure. Now, I had an idea, but the problem was I didn't have one ship that Ben had. So I was like, oh. So I looked at the ships that I currently have. I could have gone, Separatists or even Republic, but I decided, let me try out my own version of an evolution of Ackbar. And the reason why was, it was probably about the weekend after they came here to do a little training exercise with all of them from downsize the training. It was actually really good, a lot of fun. We had 2 rooms set up, 4 players going. I was going back and forth checking on people and stuff like that, see what's going on. And they were just battling each other, helping each other's fleets out, stuff like that. It was a really good team effort. I'm really happy they did it. But the Wednesday, I want to say it was a Tuesday or Wednesday before the Vegas opening, Buster was going to be leaving the next day, whatever that day was. He and his wife were going down. They're going to spend some anniversary stuff and everything else like that. It was going to be a cool little trip for them. Anyway, so, but he wanted to have one battle before that Saturday. So I said, sure, bring it. And like I said, then I went looking around to see if I had everything. And I did. So, except for that one ship I wanted to put in there, which I might change up. Though I'm really liking this fleet, by the way. I really am liking it, I've noticed. So let us go down this fleet. But what I want to start off with is, how did I get inspired? And many times people have asked us on our AMAs that, how do we get inspired to make these fleets? And I remember Ben made one about midway. And it was the carrier and it was the battleship. And actually, I think it might have been both. Anyways, and he had them out there, and it was cool to hear that that's how he got his inspiration. I didn't know that beforehand. So it was really cool to hear his inspiration on camera when you guys heard it. And so I thought, okay, I would like to do something. You guys have been talking about this snail thing and how I should do my ships in a snail. How am I gonna do that, right? I mean, for some reason it wasn't clicking in my brain. So, I mean, I know I could do them sideways, but as you saw in the past, I started turning ships up the middle, around the sides, thought all the range of home one, or, of many other ships that I had that had, abilities to help out the other ships. So I thought, I should really look into it. Now, like I said, I was sick. Well, this was before I was sick. I was sitting there watching some YouTube, and I came across a channel that actually has battle-tastic, basic fleet tactics from 1,000 years, past 1,000 years. And I was like, whoa, because I'm a history major. I mean, I love history. So I went into this. I do not know much about Navy history, as much as Ben and Buster do, for instance. But I kind of knew what you guys were asking for. So this is the channel I went into. So this is the channel right here. Great channel. I'm not sure how to say this, the name, but I'm going to say it as Drachinifel, Naval Historic Photographer, not photographer, historic cartographer. And it's an incredible channel. And it explained to me what actually was the snail that you guys have been talking to me about. And what that was called Hold the Line, or Holding the Line, as you see at the top of the screen right here. And this channel is just incredible. I also was inspired by the beginning of it. And yes, I do like rum, if you guys are going to see rum in a few seconds. And such. But what I was really inspired was, what really caught my eye. Alright, so as you can see right here, all the big guns and such, and they're doing side barrages. And the way they're doing it, they're in snail formation. I mean, look right there. I mean, that's definitely an Ackbar shot right there. So this is what inspired me right here to do it and to take a look at it. So thank you to this channel. Big shout out to them. You can definitely look up this video and look up a lot of the other things on there. They got the Bismarck on there. They got all other kinds of famous ships and what actually happened. And they take both sides. Like they take for Bismarck, for instance, they go and talk to the English and they'll talk to the Germans, and they actually figure out what actually did happen. They also have one on Midway too, which is actually really good, in Pearl Harbor. And so if you guys want any kind of stuff like that, want to learn about something like that, then definitely go over there and take a look, because there's some things that we didn't know, the regular civilians, or those who weren't even born back then for that matter, did not know. I mean, we always wonder, why was Midway such a, or not just Midway, but why was Pearl Harbor such a bomb so well? I mean, there is some serious stuff over there. So it's good. And it's not no, conspiracy theories or anything like that. It's actually historical facts. So this is really cool. So this is what helped me. This channel helped me, inspire me. So after watching that video and Buster asking if he could do something, I thought, sure, let's try something. So I took my MC-80, Ackbar of course, everything you guys taught me, by the way, too. Not just that channel, because they don't know about Star Wars and all their wonderful cards and such. So I decided that, okay, I'm going to take information from them, information from you, the community, information from Ben, information from Buster. I have so many people on here that have given me great inspiration to do this. I also did go up to 400 points, which is not my normal thing to do, but because I wanted Buster to have a chance to roll and to pick if you want to go first or second. So I went to for the full 100, which at first is a skilled officer you see twice here, one Ackbar ship and one on the Nebula, and I just threw them in there. I was like, I'll just throw them in there. I mean, they can be useful. I thought, but at the same time, I was like, I'll throw them in there. I did try doing different things like electronic countermeasures. I tried changing it for other things, and I thought, no, electronic countermeasures is very, very important. And quad battery turns I kept in this thing, which those two alone, electronic countermeasures and quad battery turns, were incredible for Ackbar. incredible. So thank you, with leading shots, and then the skilled officer later on in Defiance. I mean, that ship worked out just the way I really wanted the ship to work out. Okay, and of course that's Defiance, which I misplayed, just like I misplayed Home 1. So again, learning experience, and that's what we're doing. But so I threw this fleet together, and as you can see, I named it SGR Ackbar HTL version 1. HTL is Hold the Line, which was, as you saw on the channel, which is what they were talking about, holding the line. And it's basically kind of go forward, you stay slow, this fleet comes at you, and you concentrate fire into one ship, best you can. I have been learning on how to separate the ships from back and forth to each other. So that way they're not colliding into each other. Like the CR90 right here is not colliding into the back of the MC80. So I've learned that before, and actually I learned it when I was battling Buster. It was a really good game, Buster. I was probably a 6-5. Okay, so it was a close game. And then Ben came back from Vegas, and that's when you see us play the Batrep Darth Vader versus Ackbar. So as you can see, this is the snail I set up. I put Vanguard in the front, put CR90 next, I put Defiance, and then the other CR90 at the end. I wanted something in front and in back of the MC80, because that is the nose and the tail that if you catch that up, you get it stuck, it makes it very difficult for it to move or to fire effectively. So I want some other ships to be further away, and as you can see, I set them up about 1.5. We use range ruler, and they're about 1.5 away. So that way, if they're going to speed 1, they're going to have a chance to move around each other. Okay? So, or not bump into each other if I'd have to move that CR90 in the back behind MC80, for instance, right into the MC80, by the MC80. And you see that as the game goes on. I took the 3 Y-wings. Again, as we discussed in the Batrep itself, we were trying to do light squadrons. And the light squadrons was because Ben had a very busy schedule, and so he said, please don't bring a bunch of squadrons. I'm not going to bring a bunch of squadrons. Let's just keep it light. I said, that's fine, Ben, no problem. So I thought, okay, I'm going to bring my 3 Y-wings. And my 3 Y-wings did incredible damage against him before on one of his ISDs, or whatever ones they were, but it was an ISD type. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to bring them again. So I brought them. These are all generics, by the way. And what generics work great? Well, Vanguard, the Nebulon up front there, was the one that was supposed to command them. And as we talk in the end game, I should use a skilled first officer to flip over, because I was second. There's 2 dials, command dials, and the second dial was for the, basically for commanding out of, what do you call that mod? Squadron. Okay. And instead I had something else. I think it was a maneuver or something else. I didn't use it. It could have been engineering, but I don't remember. I have to go through and look it all over again, which we're not going to take time to do that right now. But anyways, that way I could keep them in front of or back or wherever I needed to on top of whatever the target ISD was. Now, originally, I thought about putting the Nebulon in front of the MC80 and the CR90 in front at the very beginning. That way I have a CR90, MC80, the Nebulon, and then another CR90. Why didn't I not do that? It would have worked out better, especially squadron control. Especially against Vader and such. He might have probably taken it out anyways, but still, the squadron command would have been better closer to the MC-80. And because the MC-80 can also do three squadrons as well. So if I had to, I could set it up in there, which I wasn't. I was doing basically confires, engineering, and I don't think there was any maneuvers at all, actually. No, it was conspires and engineering. Those are the two I was concentrating on with the MC-80. The CR-90s was whatever I needed at the time. Wonderful thing about having one command dial. You see what happened to the CR-90 the first one round? You go, what do I need next? Do I need a maneuver? Do I need an engineering? Do I need a confire? Whatever. You can switch it really quick. So they are easy to do. Beautiful, beautiful ships. So anyways, but instead for some reason I put the Nebulon out front. And I think the reasoning was the shields. Because the frontal shields on the Nebulon is 3 shields compared to 2 on our CR-90. That was a bad idea. Because what I should have done was put it where the first CR-90 is, right in front of the MC-80 there. So that way, again, command squadrons, and then if the CR-90 goes down, the Nebulon could pick up right where the CR-90 left off. And Nebulon left. Yeah, Nebulon could pick up where the CR-90 left off. The Nebulon also has a bigger firing arc, so it should have been behind the CR-90. The CR-90 has a very small side arc. So, there's the things I've learned from playing with Buster and playing with Ben. So this was an incredible match. I really enjoyed it, and we're gonna go take a look now at the list. So here's the list. Now, as we already talked about the MC-80, I've been used to seeing it when I talked in the very beginning. It's the assault cruiser guys. Convinced me. Thank you guys for reminding me about the quad batteries with using completed shots. It helped quite often. Electronic countermeasures and Defiance. Now, okay, Defiance I did use wrong. Same time I was trying not to have Ben go after the CR-80, MC-80, sorry. I wanted him to go up the CR-90s or the Nebulon. They were cheaper. And if he could focus his fire all on them, Ackbar can come up and just waylaced. And if Ackbar dies, then all the side shots are gone. So why is there, I can't have anything commander go down. And it's the most armored ship. You could have put him on a CR-90 if I really wanted to. I'm not really into that. I gotta find a better ship if I want to go out on lifeboat, as people do. But in Rebels, CR-90 is probably the best lifeboat, but I still haven't found the lifeboat to use. Alright, so like I said, the skilled first officer was put in the end, so I want Buster and Ben to both be able to have finally a 400 point chance, so they could actually, decide. Now, Buster, I believe, chose second. Again, this was a while ago. And Ben chose to go first. Ben choosing to go first was very, very, very good for him. Because all he had to do, actually he chose me to go first. I'm sorry, my correction. I went first. But he got a chance to choose, and because he went to 399, I believe. And he said, "No, I'll go second. You can pick from my list." I did pick planetary cannon because out of the 3, they were the best for me. And he had hyperspace assault, I think, in there. and I think he put an advanced gunnery, which I wasn't going to give advanced gunnery, and he wasn't going to take advanced gunnery from me either. So, planetary ion cannons was better. Ben will correct me if I'm wrong about his missions, but that's okay. So I took the planetary ion cannon, and I slowly put the chips. I did not put my guys in the right spot, that is correct. My CR90 came up and around, both my CR90s came up too close. So that's something I'm working on. Yeah, we'll work on that. But, so then we get the CR90s. Now, looking at the CR90s, I made them the same. I wanted electronic countermeasures on them, for obvious reason, because it helps them. So if he locks down a, my wonderful only redirect, then I want to be able to use it again. Because yeah, I get 2 evades, it's awesome. But if I use one in defense, I want to be able to use something else, because you can't use 2 evades in one defending action. So his ship shoots at me, I can't evade, and then he rolls the dice and evade again. I can't do that. So I chose to make sure the electronic countermeasures are there for the redirect. And they were basically going to be my damage dealers and quick movers. They did a good job. I used my TRCs, and I used my electronic countermeasures a couple times for these guys. And they did pretty decent. I mean, yes, they got too close to the sun or the what do you call it, the nipple in the sky, whatever Ben called but the ion cannon areas, and that basically took them out. Of course, it's always ironic that when you only have 1 health left, Ben rolls like 3 dice damage. So it's funny. Or he gets exact. But ion cannon for him, it was overkill for all these guys. He'll say, well, you still had 1 health left. Yes, but I was trying to hint that he probably should have been shooting at the MC-80, because there was a point when the MC-80 was getting into range, and he probably could have shot at it. So, might not have. Okay, I mean, looking at the video, it's 50-50 to me. But again, I'm surprised he didn't go straight for the MC-80. There were all 3 of them. The little guys, they would have harassed him with the bombers and everything else too. But all he had to do is make sure Ackbar went down, and then they lose 2 dice. And then he can maneuver, because you know how he does. Maneuver right into range. So, I was very happy that he went after the CR90. The Nebulon, I guess my, Vanguard. Auxiliary shield teams is a must, I think, for the Nebulons, because you only get 1 shield aside. Skip down here. So, I'll leave it like this anyways. Skip down here, and as you can see, you only get 1 shield. 3 shields on front, 2 in the back. That's good. You don't have a redirect. Oh, wait, you don't redirect. Oh no. Well, that's why I took Vanguard, because it let me add on a crew member, and it also let me switch out a defense token, which I switched out a brace for a redirect. It really did help the ship. Overwhelming firepower kind of overdoes it, kind of hurts it more than anything else, but still. It worked. Now, he did not have electronic countermeasures. He does not have defensive stuff. So, kind of hurt, that part. Had Caitlin showing linked turbo lasers for the rerolls, and then I put skilled first officer on. And I really wish I remembered to use him for when I had that squadron dial keyed up for the next round before he died. people say hindsight's 2020. I knew better at the time, so I just knew better. And then I had 3 Y-wing squadrons, generics. I love these ships. Okay, these are my favorite ships in the universe of Star Wars. I don't know why they just are. I know they're slow, not slow as B-wings, but I know they're slow and they're kind of bulky and all that. You want the X-wings to go in there, fighters, and blow everything up, right? Well, I like Y-wings for several reasons. The Rebel Y-wings especially, because you get that back cockpit, and you get a rear gunner. And for me, that reminds me of a bomber back in World War II. So, to me, I just love the ship. So that's what I use versus Ben & Buster. I also used this during a mini-series tournament that we had, a few days ago. Now, that would have been Saturday, and today is Wednesday that I'm taping this. I'm not sure when Ben is going to put this out. But I took it in, and I played Aaron, Sir Chicken, first. And Sir Chicken, we don't have any video pictures, I'm sorry about that, guys. Sir Chicken had 3 Peltas and a Venator. And so he brought in the Venator really quick, and so these guys were able to take out the Venator. After that, he's moving around his Peltas and trying to get whatever he could, which he did, don't get me wrong. Those Peltas are not something to laugh at. And he had squads. He had Ahsoka. No, sorry, he didn't have Ahsoka. He had Admiral. Yeah, he was Admiral. And he had Illuminari. I think that's her name. But he had her too. And so they were going around and they were basically eating up everything. They concentrate on Nebulon, for instance. They ate it up. You name it, ate it up. Trying to remember, I don't see, this is a lot more memory stuff, because we can get video pictures and such. But I don't think he took out the MC-80. But I took out 1 or 2 of his Peltas, and it was a close game. That game was close. He was playing Yularen, I believe. And so Yularen had, I don't know if they're on him and down or not. Sir Chicken will correct me on a bunch of things. But anyways, I don't mind. Aaron, go ahead, go for it. But it was good. It was a good game. The second game I had was against Josh. Josh is an excellent player. Plays against Trevor, who did the SSD and LSO, if you remember. He plays against Aaron. He plays against Joe. He plays against Ben. He plays against everybody. Josh is just a solid player. He's on TTS. He's about everywhere. So, very good player. Now, in that game, that was the second game of the day. That game I didn't do so well. The first reason was that I didn't pay attention to the mission, which was Doomed Station, which I picked, by the way, because I was first player. And I didn't pay attention to it. He had an MC-80, playing Rebel Fleet as well. And then he had, I don't remember the other ships he had. But, oh yeah, I know he did have a Nebulon, though, by the way. I do remember that, because he had Salvation, which was kicking my butt. But he had MC-80 with Christed Gate. And he just kind of parked it at speed 0, right in front of the station. And the station would hit him and bounce back. So in the end, he got about 10 points victory points. That alone was about 100. Yeah, it was 100 points. So that alone, I never got to take out. He took out every ship I had except for the Admiral. No, except for the Admiral, I think, or one of the CR90s, and he did not get the MC80 because I went right for the Rift. So the Rift, I played wrong. I don't play against the Rift that often, and I think I need to practice. So the Rift will slow your ship down temporarily. Not even temporarily, it'll slow your ship down. So if your ship's going 2, consider it going 1. Okay. I was able to get my Nebulon and CR90 out of it. But my MC80 I decided to turn in because the MC80 is so slow. She can't jump up to speed 3. Okay. So she was going speed 1. And then we found out that, and I didn't have a navigation dial per bit, so it was going speed 1 in the first place. So it was at 0, it was stuck. So it was a tough battle going against Josh, really good player. My dice were not turning up. They decided to go to sleep. And Josh's dice decided to wake up and do the damage. And like I said, he had an awesome fleet. He had awesome squad ball too. He had, let's see, he had, oh my gosh, Dutch, Wedge, Luke, Lando, and it was not, I think it was Janice, but I'm not sure it was Janice. But, and then he had a couple escorts. But anyways, so he had a really good squad ball. And let me tell you, my three Y-Wings didn't stand a chance. They didn't stop them, nothing. So they went down. And then after that, he basically ate my ships up with millions of bee stings. And I wouldn't say Lando's a bee sting. He basically took out every Y-Wing anyways. But Luke didn't do quite as well, if I remember correctly. And he took a lot of damage. My flacking was good. My flacking was very good against Aaron, actually. I think there was hardly time I missed in flacking. So, as you can see, the ships here, I mean, the MC80 has 2 blue dice. The 90s have a 1. And then the Nebulon has 2 as well. So combined them all, and I was keeping them close, as you saw, with Ben, and I would just continue flak and flak and flak. So this is on Aaron, by the way. And he had those arcs of 7 health Republic fighters come in, and he has an incredible fleet. Hopefully he will post his so it'll correct any mistakes I had, and you'll see his fleet and how well he was able to maneuver his arcs who go speed 202. And anyways, those things ripped apart ships like crazy. And he had Ahsoka on board, which he could have sniped with, but he never did. But he could have, and I was a little worried about that. But and sniping would only be against my Y-Wings. But anyways, Aaron had a really great squad ball too. I just had a better chance at, well, my dice liked me better there. But against Josh, it was all downhill. All downhill. I didn't do the snail. I came up right up the middle. I mean, it did still at the beginning, but when I saw that his ships are all in the, so if you're looking at the map yourself, all right, it was in the top left corner, okay, and he was around the space station and such, and his MCA just stopped there, basically just stop there, no big deal, and just waited until I came in range. It was facing toward me, so the nose was facing towards my ships, but we're still out of range of each other. He made sure of that. And then once I found that out, I started having to circle around the rift. Now circling around the rift, like I was saying earlier, slowed my CR90 and Nebulon down. They're still able to get out there. They did some damage to the MC80, but by that time, it was around 5 or 6, and it was not even worth it. I should have left the board. The Nebulon did go down, remember? Yeah, my Nebulon did go down. But the CR90, I should have just flown off the board. Instead of forget after round 6, get it out of range. I thought I did the best I could, but obviously I was still within range, so I think he was able to get that too. It was almost a table in there. The CR80 did stay up, but it was barely alive. So we had to finish our round on round 4 or 5 because we're already out of time. So, and then that was it. So, but this fleet works out very well. I do enjoy it. I do miss the, okay. Yeah, as I was saying, I miss my XI7s. I mean, they would have really helped. They would have taken the full damage, and the redirects wouldn't really have done as much. But, as you can see when I put it in there, it goes up to 401 point, which means that one skilled officer would have to probably leave. And honestly, the way it was played, my games, I think I rather, yeah, I wouldn't want to get rid of the skilled officer because he really helped a lot. He's great in most predicaments where you needed engineering, as Ackbar did. Now I could have taken the one off of Vanguard, the Nebulon, but if I remembered to use them, it might have been done, and I would have had XI7s over here and first officer. So, but quad battery turned was key. And that was good against everybody except, well, actually no, it was good against Josh. He sent his Nebulon and other ships coming in quick, so it was good against him as well. But he kept his MC80 back because, I mean, he could have sent it in. He honestly could have sent it in, but it was smart for him to keep it back just in case. So, yeah, those are my three battles with this fleet. I enjoy it. Things I'd switch up, I'm not quite sure. Like I said, the XI7s would be nice, but I think the quad battery turns definitely is a must. And with leading shots, and with everything else. Even the skilled first officer, which I used to laugh at a lot until somebody way back when we first started doing subscriber list, puts a skilled first officer in, and I was like, well, why do we have this here? Even Ben was like, well, why is this in here? And then I was playing, and I realized I could switch down to another dial. And I did, and Ben was like, wow, alright. And that's when Ben and I got a new appreciation for skilled first officer, besides him using it for Vader to rerolls. But, so, anyways, so that was it. Now, the missions I have currently, and this was Advanced Gunnery, Asteroid Tactics, and Infested Fields. Now, Aaron chose to go second during our fight, and I got to use Infested Fields. Actually, to believe, yes, he chose to go second, and I chose to go Infested Fields. So, he chose, I should say, sorry. First player chooses, second player has the missions. So he chose Infested Fields. And that helped against his squads, but not nearly enough. Because if you see his list, he was able to have the officers that will be able to move your squadron's speed 1 more than they can. So he moves a ship, then his officer was able to move the squadron's 1 speed without activating them, and then he would activate them later on. So he usually get up those slow ships, those slow squadrons. They're great with B-wings, and they're great with the arcs. I don't think there's any other slow ship. There might be some mercenary type ships out there that are slow that could probably use it, but you know, I'm not sure how good they are. I don't know. I want to say jump starter or something like that. Anyways, so this was the fleet I used. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It worked out well. I was surprised fighting against Ben. I mean, those 3 Simoons coming at me, I was like, yeah, it's going to be a short game. He goes, oh yeah, it's going to be a short game. We both agreed. And the next thing you know, he's like, wait a minute, what's going on? And the game turned around. My dice were very nice to me. Thank you, dice. I appreciate you guys. And I always will. But no, it changed around and stuff like that. And I enjoyed the fleet. I am learning how to maneuver it better. But when you don't have something that has hold the line in it, like Doomed, like when I was playing against Josh, it makes it a little more difficult. So I have to figure a way, and I probably could start with aiming them up directly up the map, straight at my enemy, at the enemy. And that way I can decide to turn, have them spread apart like I normally do, so that way they don't bump into each other. And that way Josh, they would all engage Josh quicker. And put some more hurt on him, probably. Actually, I'm pretty sure they would have. So I need to look at the missions more and figure out whether hold the line is going to work on that or not. Hold the line worked on everything else so far. So we will see. I will be trying a different list next time. Next time Ben and I play. It'll be a subscriber list for the Ackbar Evolution. And I'm going to try a different one, and we shall see how that one does. So, he's already warned me it's going to be 2 quads coming in. No, 2 ISTs, my bad, coming in. So, who knows? He could go back to his old Sloan and have them flying in and taking out my stuff. Or he could be going something totally different, Romodi. Don't know. So, we shall see. Now, doesn't mean that he doesn't have anything else coming in besides 2 ISDs. He just wanted to let me know ahead of time. And we'll see how that works. So now I gotta look at the subscriber lists. There's a couple I really want to do, which will be fun. You guys know who you are out there. And so there's 2 lists I'm thinking of, really thinking of. Actually 3 now that I remember. And yeah, they're coming up, guys. You might see Hold the Line change up a lot more after these lists. So, but again, I'm pretty happy with the list that I did on my own. I enjoyed playing against Ben. I enjoyed playing against the tournament, the mini tournament. If any of you are in the area, I know most of you like Canadians are not going to be in Arkansas. That's kind of a weird place to be anyways. Anybody in the U.S. is always going, what's in Arkansas? Arkansas? Where's that? But if anybody from Texas, Louisiana, Missouri and all that, the tri-state area, I guess we'll call it, more than that. But, because you're surrounding us, guys. If you want to come and try it out, play against us, practice. It's great, a lot of fun. Alright? So, thank you again, guys. Appreciate everything. It was good to get back on track and to play in the tournament. It was a lot of fun. So, till next. Nope, almost did Ben's line. Bad, Rob. So, everyone, you're dismissed.